All right, so welcome everyone. We are not much in this room, but that's all right. We'll do a quick presentation. So my name is Patrick Laurin. I work at Inocybe Technologies, and I work mostly around release engineering and DevOps. And my presentation will be about OpenDaylight. It can be used as a fun tool for hobbyists and hackerspaces. I'll be talking mostly about the makerspaces and the maker movement. I also point something out about packaging and tutorials upstream, and then I'll talk about OpenDaylight and beyond, which is a demo that Inocybe will be conducting tomorrow, and a small conclusion. So first, when I started building this presentation, I thought, okay, let's Google something. I need to start somewhere. So I Googled HDX Central OpenDaylight. If you know HDX Central, it's a news website about software-defined networking, stuff like that. So there's a 2-minute video that I found on YouTube. I'll try to play it for you. I don't know if we're going to have sound, but it's a video that I found quite interesting. And there are some things in this video that that captured my mind, and I said, I have to talk about this. So do we have any sound? Yeah, I guess we're not having any sound with HDMI. Yeah, it plays from the laptop. Okay.
Are you all the way up on there?
Let me bring up.
And mobile services, and they
You
all
hear
have
it?
their own
It's
ideas
okay?
for how things should
Okay,
be.
let me start it over. It's a 2-minute video.
Thousands of programmers, computer scientists, and network engineers are already working on software-defined networks to speed delivery of new cloud, big data, social business, and mobile services, and they all have their own ideas for how things should be. Some of these engineers got together and asked, what if we all worked together? What if there was a new community that delivered an open source platform consisting of code and architecture to rapidly enable and advance software-defined networking? And what if the community committed to the spirit of progress and allowed SDN to be deployed broadly from the smallest data centers to the largest hyperscale computing projects? Doing so would allow the engineers and researchers to leverage a common framework instead of individual and fragmented SDKs. Better yet, they could realize the goal of an SDN platform that enables network control and programmability. Such a platform will catalyze massive productivity gains and enable new classes of network applications. Applications that we haven't even imagined yet. The community knows that every party will benefit from rapidly developing unification in network programmability and control. This difficult technical problem can be solved through standards bodies, specifications, and a unified software framework, a sort of kernel for SDN. The OpenDaylight project, a not-for-profit, member-supported Linux Foundation collaborative project, welcomes contributors of all sizes, from individuals to multinational companies. The OpenDaylight project focuses on software and will deliver several components: an SDN controller, overlay virtual network, protocol plugins, applications, and the architecture and programmatic interfaces for tying it all together. These components will jumpstart SDN and enable code reuse, making software engineers more productive. Their work will allow for greater productivity for network and DevOps admins. Now, networkers can adopt SDN with confidence, speeding time to value while reducing complexity and cost. Join us.
Okay. So there are some things that I memorized from this video when I saw it, and I wanted to show you what it is about. Let me put that full screen again. So unicorns, party hats, and bacon. Those are the things that I saw in the video, and I said, oh, what about those? We don't hear a lot about them. So how OpenDaylight is, throwing a party with bacon and unicorns. So it's a matter of use cases. With OpenDaylight, the possibilities are endless. Anyone can, have ideas and use it. And building OpenDaylight application is mostly a matter of knowledge and creativity. So as we know, OpenDaylight today, it has been developed by big telco companies, IT companies, and we heard about use cases for production development, for data centers, etc. And we also know that with the Boron release, OpenDaylight is getting really mature now. So this is, it's kind of big on the screen. This is the current spectrometer graph that shows the companies how the proportion of their contribution to the OpenDaylight project. And there's a small one, which is interesting, is the other branch, with the ones that we don't know much about. And I was thinking we should maybe make that pie chart a little bigger. So with the maturity of OpenDaylight, with Boron, I think it's a good opportunity to reach a more global audience. So people like tinkerers, hobbyists, people creating Kickstarters, stuff like that. And those are usually sorts of people that use open source frameworks to build and create their ideas. And I found this quote from the brand identity guideline from the OpenDaylight documentation. And it goes like this: OpenDaylight's goal is to provide an open source framework for building commercial SDN projects and solutions. And something from the Linux Foundation that we heard in the video earlier says OpenDaylight welcomes contributors of all sizes, from individuals to multinational companies. And we don't hear a lot from individuals. So enter the maker movement. This is a growing phenomenon around the world right now. And I took some some numbers that I found that are interesting. There are 14 times more makerspaces today than there was in 2006. And right now there's about 1,400 makerspaces worldwide, and about 500 just in America. So, communities, those kind of communities are having a real impact on businesses, and a lot of groundbreaking technologies can emerge from that. And I have some examples about that. The Pebble Watch, you probably heard about it. That was built in a tech shop by some guy tickling around, and it became a huge business, $10 million business in Kickstarter. Another one, the GoPro camera. This is a guy, the guy was actually a surfer. He wanted to film himself on the water, so he was designing a wrist strap to hold a camera. And today his project, his idea became an actual camera, and every 3 minutes, as we speak right now, there's a new GoPro video that goes on YouTube. The Oculus Rift, for example. You probably heard about this one too. So that was a single guy working, tinkering in his basement, and it became a 91 million in venture capital. So, there are some important changes, important products that can emerge from anyone, not just, big companies. And those are a list of hot topics that we hear about in makerspaces. So those are all things that uses networking at some point, and I believe OpenDaylight can be used with those kind of projects like embedded electronics, smart home, weather sensing, security, stuff like that. And this is something I found interesting. You find this on the OpenDaylight website. This is the current OpenDaylight user group. So those are the current active communities around the world that are using OpenDaylight. And I was looking at is there any potential that we can find to make this bigger, have more people involved? And this is the Hackaday.io. So those are hackerspaces around the world, and only those by Hackaday. So I think this is, there's a big potential to have more people involved in the project OpenDaylight. And I just want to mention about packaging. Right now, I'm a contributor to the packaging project, integration project on OpenDaylight. And now, today we have RPM and Deb. So those are really useful tools that anyone can use to use OpenDaylight to develop with it. And we also use right now VirtualBox, libvirt, Docker. We also use Vagrant, Packer, and the tools are there to to have quickly an OpenDaylight environment to start developing and start using it. And we also have the new docs.opendaylight.com that provides excellent and simple wikis to start tinkling around OpenDaylight and start being creative with it. And there are also we're starting to see some nice projects that are emerging from OpenDaylight. Like tomorrow we're going to have a small presentation, and we'll be involving some Spiros and drones that can connect to OpenDaylight. And there was another one that I found from a demo at Cisco Live in Berlin, and it's called the Train Controller Choo-Choo project, which is actually an OpenDaylight connected train. So you can get creative, and the idea is really to get more people involved and move in the Internet of Things era with OpenDaylight. Yeah, so what I just talked earlier, our demo tomorrow, those are the Spiros. So those are little balls that can be connected using ordinary protocols. And the idea is that everything that can be modeled, we can model this in OpenDaylight. So why not make it and try to create, for example, some clusters, some let me find. Yeah, I think I missed one of my slides, but that's all right. So yeah, the idea is that anything you can model, you can make some projects out of it. And this is just, yeah, we're really missing some things, but it's just what I'm sharing is that this drone used some pitch, roll, yaw movements to move in the air. This is something we can model easily using the Yang model. We just have to define, the basics, like the roll is -100 to +100, simple numbers that everyone, can. If someone learns the Yang model, that's really easy to implement. Same with the Spiros. It's a matter of setting up colors, changing the headings. So that's it for the Spiros and drone. And it's interesting because with OpenDaylight we could do things like swarms. So that's an interesting thing that we can do. And yeah, so really the message is to get people more involved in the OpenDaylight project. And there are meetups. You probably heard about different meetups. We did one in Montreal a month ago, and there was a lot of people interested. So I believe we can go outside the scope, of only businesses and reach more people with communities and meetups, stuff like that. So to conclude, as OpenDaylight is becoming more mature, it's really about reaching a larger audience to reach new level of innovation, like Kickstarters and projects. And it's also a matter of having more people contributing to the project and contributing to the documentation to making it simpler, more accessible to more people. So that's it pretty much. And don't miss the next sessions by Inocybe Technology. We have 3 presentations at the same time, just after this one. And tomorrow we're going to have the demo theater with the drone and Spiros. And a different presentation by Mathieu, Alexis de Talouet, and Madison, which is here with us. So that's it.